Moving things along. Reaper fast expand here for Maru. Dark just traveling along the regular Zerg path as well, it looks like. Getting a quick hatch into the gas, into the pool. Maru checking for that expansion, of course, with the SCV, sees it, is satisfied, and will send that Reaper across the map. Factory close to that barracks. Let's see if we get ourselves a reactor. It will be. Most likely Reapers as the follow-up here. Oh my god, is he gonna... Wow. I did not expect that. You don't see that too often. My goodness. That is difficult to do. That is very difficult to do. And, well, Maru just for like half a second overstaying his welcome with the Reaper. And, well, Dark reading that perfectly. That is cruel. That is unfortunate. I mean, the Reaper Scout no longer going to be available. You're going to have to rely on your Hellion scouting here. Sending the first one quite quickly across, as you're, well, going to have to know whether or not Dark is doing something absolutely abysmal to you. Like, for example, sending a ton of roaches your way. Now, we know that is not the case. Maru doesn't quite... Yeah, he's seeing his third base, kind of settles his mind, of course. Dark gonna start taking some more space here. Didn't quite know about that Hellion there, apparently. Quick third for Maru. Looking like he is approaching this very similarly as we saw him play against Reyna just a little bit ago. Dark with the 2 Evo chambers here. Still waiting for the creep tumors. Gonna fall for it a second time, it looks like. Or just kind of pushing those away with his queen presence. He's got a good amount of them. Still gotta be careful though with the rotation of these Hellions. Looks like he is aware. Nice placement on that Spore Crawler as well. Making it more difficult for Hellions to make these types of moves. Definitely noting that down. Note to self. Straight up double medevac here. We do have a stim pack available. The other upgrades are still a bit away, but this could still be quite effective, right? Probably want to unload it right about here. I think he may have not taken mental note of that Overlord there, or maybe he just wanted to unload on top of the Overlord. Doesn't make too much of a difference, I suppose. And then just deciding to go for the creep instead as well, another Overlord. Alright, you know what? I like that. You just kind of get what you can with this, and you don't want to try to make maneuvers that you might regret later down the line, right? Pushing into this base, it seems likely. It's a realistic threat, so Dark has to respect it. Sends his units over there, and then going for the creep instead. Nice little play there. And Dark walking into it in a way. of course, only losing creep to Miss doesn't really lose him the game. But it might make fights less advantageous for him later down the line if he doesn't have as much creep. Big counter-attack with Zerglings here, going for the SCVs as well as the army here. Is it just going to kill everything? Holy smokes, Batman. That's a very clean surround. 10 SCVs go down. The rest of the army of Maru trying to run back across. But that was just a perfect interception right there. A little bit fortunate for Dark as well, I would say. But you know what? It's if it ain't broke, don't break it. If it ain't broken, don't try and break it. No, that was pretty good. 5th base on the way here for Dark already, as Maru still on his 3. Just finishing up the add-ons for his 4th and 5th barracks. 5th base quite quickly dealt with though. Nice cancel. Does come in time. And away. Off they go into the Medivacs, you know. Quite quickly re-establishing that base though. Dark is. As we will be heading into multi-pronged harassment for Maru. So far, let's take a look actually on the left flank. There's just enough units there as well. Dark has a lot of units. He's getting Hive. Sending a Zergling there apparently, trying to figure out whether or not that would be a safe thing to run into. Didn't like his odds. He's just going to stick with the Medivacs for a little bit longer. Huh. He's doing a really good job. For not having any Mutalisk at all, he's not giving Maru a lot of room to maneuver these units around. Look at that, he's unloading and again, just straight up, he's there. Okay, this little Medivac squadron does seem to be evading the Zergling squadron quite nicely. Getting himself onto the drone line with the other one as well, but has just a single drone kill. And, well, what do you guess? Dark is there. You know where else Dark is? Right about here. That is a lot of stuff right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is too much. That is too much, Dark. You can't do this to a man. Holy smokes. Where did that all come from? That's CG. That's just straight up GG. Holy. Oof. Oof. That is a slaughter. Oh, my apologies. There we go. Alright. Top left side, the Blue Zerg. Fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gamers. It is Dark. What a legend. And another legend in the bottom right side. There. Red Terran. Alright, anyway. It is Maru. I'll be honest, when I started the replay cast today, I did not imagine the first series to be taking about almost 3 hours long on its own. Jeez. Maru and Raynor had one hell of a couple of bouts there, and now up against Dark. This could be quite a long replay cast. My goodness. Anyway. That is a command center first for Maru. Interesting. Might be feeling that he needs every advantage that he can lay his hands on right now. Dark hasn't been playing all too aggressive, so... Right, he hasn't been sending out a... well, to be fair, we only seen one game of him, so that is, you know, very coin flippy thinking here, but... He didn't rush us there. Or he didn't rush Maru there, so... Well, we'll see. Looks like Maru gonna be okay this time around. with this low ground command center should be perfectly fine. Going for a Marine even to start things off. It's going to be a while before he has a scout across the map, but you know what? He's sticking to his guns. Not even sending out the SEV. I guess if you send out the SEV, you don't really gain too much from it. You're not going to be able to deviate too much otherwise. Things most likely will still unfold the way that they do anyway. You might not send this Marine out like this, but... Alright. Third base for Dark. Once again, will it be Hellions? Quick third CC? Yes, sir. Now Maru's sticking to the bio the previous game. It's not really what we saw a whole bunch of in the series versus Reina. If he goes bio here again, that is gonna have to be some sort of a tell for us, right? That he just had some sort of a thought there, or maybe he just flips a coin himself and it's like, alright, we're going mech this time, or hey, we're going bio this time. But I would imagine him going for the mech here, right? It was seemingly working out a lot better. Or at least he added in extra factories. No? Moment of truth starting to come up here for Maru. We'll have to start putting down those extra production facilities pretty soon. Does have a decent amount of gas. No gas on the natural though. Does make me believe this will be a more barracks play. Yep. There it is. Guess I could have known that if I had looked at the gas sooner. Yeah. Oh well. Little Hellions. Yeah, once again, stopping the scout from running in here. Almost helping out those Hellions there a little bit. It's like, wait a moment. Let me get more of my drones on top of each other. Wonderful. Alright, reasonable start here for Maru overall, I would say. He's gonna have to be careful still, as Dark hasn't really sustained much damage overall on his own yet either. He's lost to 2 Overlords, but I doubt 2 Overlords is gonna really do anything significant for Dark here, right? He is known to be one of these players that is most comfortable. Well, you know, he's not most comfortable being in an economic deficit, but he is seemingly, out of the Zergs, one of the more comfortable players with those situations. There we go, there's the double medevac once again, not fully loaded, but there's still a lot of Marines in there. With a couple of Hellions and the armory finishing up, that could turn into a bit of a nasty strike force. The other upgrades starting to line up as well here. Wonder if he's going to try to wait for that. At least the combat shield I would want him to see wait for. And the +1/+1 just finishing up for Dark. That could make things a little bit dangerous. Oh, he just loaded up everything. Oh boy, and that door is open. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, dude. that is rough. That is okay. You got a lot of them in the medevac. Actually, I thought all of them died there, but it's just the 28 that got you know, eaten by the Zerglings. There's a couple more going down. There's Banelings being morphed right on top of the front door over Maru. Maru's bringing back his units, but the damage has been dealt, man. That is, once again, Dark just coming in with this big flood of Zerglings here. Having a very strong opportunity once again to just annihilate Maru's economic position here. 2 more Banelings. He almost forgot about, bam, another 5 SCVs. That's 35 SCVs dead at the 730 mark. That is quite a bit of a crippling experience there for Maru, especially considering Dark seemingly didn't even really sacrifice that much of his own economy for this. It's just more so that he decided to utilize that big flood of Zergling Banelings on the other side of the map rather than just trying to give chase to the Marine medevac army composition here that was heading towards his own base. Interesting. Might be another good reason why, you know, we would like to see Maru going back into that very defensive kind of mech playstyle. When you have opponents like this, just kind of almost toying with you whenever you try to move out of... Oh dear, more Banelings coming in from that area, it seems. 8 more SCVs going down. Yeah. That is nasty, especially with the +1/+1 coming in right at that time. +2/+2 about to finish up. Is that wave 2? Is that the indicator that we're going to get wave 2 of these Zerglings running in? It could be. And you know what? It could very well work, depending on how well these Widow Mines do. He's just... Look at that. He's just literally running by the army. He's like, oh, you've got units here? Well, let me just go this way then. Let me just... Oh, and he gets a good Baneling detonation there as well. Alright, just go into the Hellbats, right? Yeah, that went. That's GG. Usually, to these big events, though, I do purposely try to keep some of it secret, right? For me, so if I do cast the replays, it's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more fun that way, right? Getting to discover it on my own this way and being a bit more enthralled with the experience. Engaged would be a better word, actually. Engaged with the experience because I'm casting it myself. Just not saying I'm, you know, doing a better job casting than anyone else, but it's just, you know, the experience is a lot different. Alright, SCV comes in, takes Agenda. Reaper fast expand will be the play here. Sending that Reaper to the back just to make sure there's no proxy hatchery there, I suppose. Don't know what else you would be imagining to find there. Checking all these corners, in fact. It's not out of the question, right, for Dark to do a proxy hatchery. He is one of these players that will, in fact, become quite aggressive in the early game if he so decides. He's 2 games ahead already anyway, right? So, yeah, if I was in Dark's shoes, I would be tempted as well, just to be like, you know what, it's 2-0. We can make this 3-0 in like 5 minutes now. If we get the proxy hatchery to work. None of that sorts, though. Dark just playing the same old game we saw the previous time around. Maru. Still, we are waiting with bated breath whether or not he's going to be bringing the same bio play or if he's going to mix it up a little bit here. Would be pretty nice to see. Oh, there we go. 3rd base on location. Couple of Zerglings looking for trouble. Just a handful of Marines here. Can the other Zerglings get in? Yes, but the SCVs, a lot of them pooled. It's a bit of lost mining time here, but a nice blockade for those for the Marine try and start dealing with them. Oh, but the Zerglings once again get on top of that one as well. Very frustrating here for Maru to deal with. Okay, and that's the end of it. Nice micro there on the SCVs. In the end, doesn't lose many more. Well, you know, that was still a nice trade there for Dark, and he got himself a pretty good scout. Did he see the third? Well, he could see the third with his Overlord here at any moment if he desires. He's gonna find a Reaper as well in the middle of the map, it seems. Truly, to be a struggle right now for Maru in these games. Hopefully it's not a precursor to a 4-0 here. Spire. That is an incredibly early Spire. It's a 2-base Spire play, yeah. I just realized there's no third base at all for Dark here. And it's been, you know what, more than 2 minutes since there you normally would start one. Just enamored with a couple of Zerglings running around Maru's base, it seems. Can be quite effective at distracting, right? And those things... It's always surprising sometimes when you're busy with something minute as that, as it's like you look back at the clock and it's like, wait a minute, did that take me like 30 seconds to just manage that? Wow. My goodness, everything has been standing still for 30 seconds. The life of the poor StarCraft gamer that is not as good. The average StarCrafter. Alright, we do have more bio coming out of Maru though. 2 engineering base, more barracks, 4 of them in total here being constructed. So, yeah, quite quickly going up to the, well, from the 111 to the 511. Funny to say. 2 reactors. This could become a strong push though with these Marines here. Don't dislike it that much, seeing the amount of Zerglings that were continuously being produced by Dark, as his Mutalisk now arrived, this surprise Mutalisk. Losing 8 SCVs, Dark, man. He will be coming in here once more. 11, 12. Woof! Doing a lot of damage. This is a troubling amount of damage actually being sustained for Maru. He is still trying to run around. He does have himself missile turrets now available in each of these bases, but the Mutalisk, instead of going for the SCVs, they're gonna try to find damage elsewhere. Add-ons, single Marines coming out of the barracks. Don't get too much of that, but still a continuous threat that Maru has to respond to. Coming back around, just doing a little bit of damage from those as supply depots. Just frustrating to deal with for Maru. Do you repair it? Do you not repair it? Do you spend that energy? Do you give up that little bit of mining time? And do you send SCVs out there in, you know, a bit of the open for Mutalisk to snipe at a later point in time? Perhaps, right? It's tough. Alright, Dark exploding out and about on the map now as well, starting up a 5th base. It's 4th and 5th at the same time being constructed. Wondering if Maru, his marine production, is going to push through here. How many did he manage to assemble in total? 32. There's only 7 banelings in total as well, so... Let's see. If this fight happens on the creep, with the Marines quite closely together, like it is kind of now, it does worry me quite so. But Maru manages to push himself away from the creep. He loses his siege tanks, however. That might not be the biggest of deals. Okay, off creep, he seems to be alright for the time being, but again, I don't think he can really realistically push onto creep here. Can he? Oh my god, he's trying. Gonna give it a good bash. Dark. Very careful about this engagement as well, just backing up when he doesn't feel certain. I think some more banelings spawn here would be nice, of course. Ooh, nice targeting though from the Marines, taking some of those out. And there's the surround Mutalisk on the right. Circling baneling on the left. And Maru, you know what, that is still a lot of Marines, but is it enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. There's already a 24 extra Zerglings here. As soon as they come in, there should be enough for these Marines to be exterminated. Actually, transforming them into banelings first will be a bit of extra time here for Maru to assemble his next force, perhaps. Right. Dark's economy hasn't been extremely up there, though, right? He's been hovering around the, like, what, 65 drones for a bit? And that's not that many. Maru on a similar pace there. I guess there is still a bigger income advantage here for Dark. But let's take a look at the efficiency of actually he's trading more efficiently as well. Right, I guess that is all those SCVs he killed actually is. Oof, man. Alright. Tough break for Maru. Won't be able to capture the Mutalisk. Still roaming about. Still preoccupying the entire Terran army as well. Stark is growing those Zergling Baneling numbers. Getting himself the +2 upgrades as well. Drilling class done now. In fact, +2/+2 will be done a bit sooner for Maru. Starting to head out onto the Zerg side of the field. And will attempt to make this work in his favor. There we are. It's only a couple of seconds potential here, but it is quite a formidable force here assembled from Maru. It is ahead in 10 army supply. Will it be enough? So far, Dark actually a little bit struggling to try and find the best engagement here. Mutalisk on the back flank. Looking for reinforcements. Perhaps a base trade might be the better choice here, but he is moving those Mutalisks back. Is he going to wait for them or is he just going to go for it? Looks like the go for it is going to be the case. That is massive green blobs exploding there. But perhaps there's still too many Marines. Yeah, there is, in fact. Oh, my. This could be scary stuff here for Dark. Needs to have those Zerglings done yesterday. Right, Mutalisk once more on the back flank. Finding the AoE splash damage units that are giving his unit such a rough time right now. Is this going to be enough with the reinforcing Zerglings? Even managing to get a couple of Banelings in here. A lot of Mutalisks go down, but seems Dark happy to sacrifice those in favor of just making sure that he doesn't die right now. Giving chase to Maru all the way back to his 3-base economy. Maru could be in trouble. No realistic way for him to establish a 4th right now. Low on every single mineral patch. It's been fully muled out. He's gonna have to start floating some command centers across. Well, not all the way across, but yeah, you know what I mean. Over here. There we go. He's already on it. He knows what to do. He's played this game before, I guess. Right. This does feel like just an absolutely demanding position, though, for Dark. And I'm not quite sure if Maru will be able to fight his way out of this. And if he will, it's going to be one thing to behold. Heartwarming moment for a Zerg flying into your opponent's main base and seeing the orbital missing. That's going to have that feeling of desperation hanging over it. Marines just barely can't catch the Mutalisk clump. We'll have to let them go for now. This might be the next concern, really. Realistically, what is there to stop it? One Widow Mine. Well, that didn't do it. That didn't do it for the time being. More Widow Mines are here. The Marines actually dealing quite well with a lot of those Zerglings as they're rolling in. Dark spread out his units quite a bit. He's not taking the most efficient fight, but he did once more absolutely trash the economy here for Maru. 22 workers going down. Now, it's a race against time here for Dark. He needs to reassemble a force as quickly as possible. He has the money, but does he have the larvae to do it? He's actually starving for larvae right now. Making another hatchery. This could be a problem, Mr. Dark. Just not having that macro hatchery could cause him quite a bit of trouble here. Oh man, is he gonna lose now because he didn't make a macro hatch? That could be heartbreaking. Alright, let's see. Widow Mines, not that successful. Okay, he holds off Maru once more. Alright, that must be a game in the bag, though, right? How does he lose now? I guess Maru kills him, but, you know, how does Maru kill him, really? It's a tough thing to do. He's gonna give it another try, though. Sending all the army across once more. He's got himself 92 army supply versus 60. Well, almost 70 now. First with a mine. Ooh, careful. Right, kills it with Banelings. Not super efficient. Dark is the player here with the lowest army supply, so he is gonna be looking for big detonations. And it's just not quite in the cards here. Maru just set up in a too-neat fashion. Look at the spread on those units. That seems like a hold position there. Very well done by Maru. That fight, absolutely fantastic. It really just all fell apart with that one maneuver almost. Dark running into the natural base, spreading out those units a little bit too much, it feels. Just not being efficient with them in any of those areas. Sure, he killed 22 workers, but... Well, in fact, perhaps it was him trying to defend rather than just going for the counterattacks, right? That... Seeing him do this now, it's like, yeah, of course, this is what you should have done. Imagine all the Zerglings and those Banelings that he just had running in over here. And just starting to chomp down the buildings. It's going to force Maru backwards. You're going to have more time. And, well, GG. GG. Maru takes that game. Oof. Only 4 Zerglings this time? Yeah. Alright. Not anticipating another surround here. That's for sure. Might start losing some of these Zerg now. The Queen is there. Never mind. Perfectly safe. Overlord into the main base of Maru. Sees that 3rd CC quite early on. Is that gonna pull any mental triggers here for Dark? It would for me. Even if I was making my own 3rd base as well, I'd be like, oh, you dirty, greedy little boy. trying to get away with it all, aren't you? Doing the exact same thing myself, but you know. You know how it goes. cannon rushing yourself, you know, if you are the cannon rusher, it's a fun, nice experience, right? But it's a fun little side joy of StarCraft 2. Getting cannon rushed, however, oh, those people who do that to you, they're pure evil. Pure Satan spawn, really. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. What do we have over here? Fusion core coming out quite early on. Are we gonna have it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At least some battlecruisers will be coming out on the field. It could still be moving towards the Marine army afterwards. We have seen some Terrans do that, of course. But the more common thing is to just straight up go into mech after this. Do we have more factories or something? Some other indicator that I'm just missing out on right now? I don't think so. Overlord gets shot down, so no scout onto what is happening so far. Dark in the dark. How many Zerglings we on? Only 3 of them at this point. Never made any more than those initial 4. Just spend his money on queens and drones. That's all you want. It's the dark way. Dark only plays on the dark web. I'm not sure what that would mean. Right, Viking here, cleaning up another Overlord. Kind of poking around, checking air defenses as well. Halfway, well, over halfway done is this first cruiser of the battles. So we could have no armory. Okay, 2 factories on the way. These Hellions, I mean, they are a real threat. This is going to pull all of the queens to one side. Oh, there's the battlecruiser joining in as well. I did not expect that without any Hellbat potential. Am I crazy? No, there is no armory here. He is just doing this, or attempting to do this, with the Hellions and the battlecruiser together. But unfortunately for him, it just didn't work. Hellions don't do that much damage against queens. You need a whole lot of them to try and burn through those bad babies. But yeah, the battlecruiser on its own, not enough firepower there to really burst its way through. Now starting up 2 of the armories. Maru looking for some sort of damage here with those Hellions. Ooh, finds the Zergling run by. There we go, that is a good catch right there. Dark not going to be able to achieve that massive economic damage this time around. With this, a bit of a gambit play, I suppose, when you see it happen like that. Right, when your Zerglings run in and there's nothing there but SCVs, it feels completely safe to do, but then when they run in and there's a bunch of Hellions, suddenly you realize, oh, right, yeah, these things are very fragile, aren't they? Nidus Worm Swarm Host, alright. Alright, we're gonna be seeing it now. Reyna couldn't quite make it work against Maru, but perhaps Dark can make this set of units work. Let's take a look at the overall units tab. 9 Hellions still available. Moving the wrong way to see that Nidus Worm being put down into the ground though. All Zerglings just endlessly sprawling across the map. Dark wanting to be aware of everything here. As the Nidus Worm Swarm Host making their appearance, some queens as well, trying to provide some cover for the exit here. And there is the first volley. It's going to be a while before they reach Might even be, well, able to just kind of ignore this first wave, perhaps. Well, we'll deal with it. Doesn't lose a single Hellbat even. Very clean, very clean. Nothing going down. Back into the night as you go. Oh, what a man, what a play. Just like, alright, well, I know the follow-up to this. It's a Nidus Worm on the other side. He scans dead center. It's like a bullseye target appearing upon the Nidus Worm. And, well, there you go. Battle cruisers. As long as there's no queens around, they will be able to deal quite well with whatever Dark has. And those queens struggling, of course, without creep being nearby the bases of Maru. Really heavily rely on the mobility of the Nidus Worm. Well, but these locusts kind of in the backside. Don't anticipate too much damage coming in here because of this. Very disjointed volley there, but I mean, they got a siege tank, right? They got a. I don't. Maybe they got a Hellion there as well. It's not much, again. Yeah, Maru just seems almost impervious to locust damage, right? They just disappear. Now Dark starting to incorporate the Ravager Zergling Baneling composition as well to try and have some extra pommel strength as he sends in these waves. Waits a little bit longer. Getting on top of the siege tanks. I think that's... No, that is... Wait, how is that only still one siege tank? What is going on? How is Maru so good? Battle cruisers. Battle cruisers do the battle. Clearly cruised their way over here. Just casually strolling along. This might be an actual wave with units. Nope, nope, still just Locust. He gets a siege tank. He gets... Oh, he gets 2 siege tanks. That is incredible. Now rolling in with the Banelings after killing the siege tanks. Alright. So that is a little bit of a difference in the approach here from Raynor and Dark. It felt like Raynor tried to run in with everything. Utilize the Locust kind of as a meat shield. Dark just kind of sacrifices the Locust to take out whatever siege tank he can, and then he pushes into that location with less of those siege tanks. Let's see. I mean, if things work out differently in this one, then that could be one of the reasons, right? Or we could be like, alright, well, this was one of the clear differences. Oh, does he? Oh! Denied. That is denied. That is unfortunate. +1 armor denied for the infantry. He's gonna try to incorporate Ghost there. That's why the infantry armor is gonna be important here. Let's take a look at the upgrades. 2-2 for pretty much everything. Except for the bio units, of course. Flying units of the Zerg. Go back on top of that again. Getting 2 more siege tanks. That's kind of the lucky number, I suppose, or the number you aim to get here. I doubt you'll be able to get more than 2 siege tanks per volley, right? Seems very, very difficult to do. Dark just setting up on another corner. And we're just gonna be watching the waves of Locusts come in and out of battle here for a couple of times. Trying to spread them out a little bit. There we are. Ooh, might get 3 siege tanks here. Oh, it was so close. But, again, the regular 2. The good old 2 siege tanker. And he is starting to trade more efficiently than Maru is, so he's got that going for him. And Dark seems to be taking a couple more bases as well, a lot quicker than we saw from the Italian. Finds those battle cruisers before they do too much on the other side of the field. Immediate unleash of those locusts as soon as they're ready. I'm gonna try to avoid the Hellbats as much as possible, but it's a rough thing to do. Getting one siege tank there, getting perhaps a planetary fortress then with the rest of the crowd. Should be able to pick that off. Bailing's even enough to keep rolling forwards, getting a couple of those Hellbats. The less of those Hellbats are available, the easier it will be for Locust to make damage happen, of course. Careful. Oh. Yeah, good biles, good detonations on those Banelings. Like what Dark's doing here, actually. Keep Maru on the 3 base. Another wave comes in. We'll try to shut down as many siege tanks as he can, but just the one. Actually, no, not a single one actually in this time. Not a single one this time. What's happening here? My goodness. My goodness, Dark is just taking control of this game. Maru's army supply still growing steadily, but it's struggling. It just doesn't have the resources that Dark does, as he has gobbled up most of the map here. Killing 0 to 3 siege tanks each Locust wave. Well, killing 15 SCVs ain't too bad either. Maru, with his 3 base economy, it's still a difficult position for him. I'm not sure if he would like to try and get himself already a maxed out army supply once again with this amount of bases that he has. He has to secure this location. Dark came in with quite a heavy hitting blow though again. We're seeing more and more trade efficiency here on that unit's loss tab for Dark. Talking about efficiency, there's the Locust again. This time around, going into the main base. A smart play, right on top of the production, and they do manage to get quite a bit. Now a Nidus Worm in the main base as well. Make things quite difficult. Is Dark just gonna hop on in here and try to get out? No, there is the siege tank there. Nice deny from Maru. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that is a lot of dead swarm hosts. My goodness. Going back into the main base though with these little boys. Finding some damage on the SCV line as well. I say some, that is actually 12 workers once more going down. Maru's army supply lingering around that hundreds. Seemingly stifling to try and grow it bigger for the time being. How is Maru going to be able to stay alive here for much longer? That is a good question. Dark, what is his tech like? He does have a greater spy. He's getting the flying unit upgrades right now. Well, he's got the hive tech, but he's got all the upgrades for Infestus as well. No, actually, he doesn't have Neural Parasite. But he could start making Infestus. He's just choosing not to. Right. Well, I mean, it's still a setup, heavily defensive Terran right here. Tough nut to crack. But crack it might. Becoming more and more brittle after each and every Locust wave. Maru attempting to reclaim some space on the other side, but there is the rest of the army. Bolted Dog coming in from the other. Finding again economic damage, but you know what? The army of Maru kind of staying alive through this one. Might be a moment for him to start pushing in forwards. Could be a really good moment for him. What's the army like for Dark? Look at this. I mean, it's Roaches, Ravages. He's got himself 16 Swarmos. What is this army? How is that going to stop all these Ghosts right here? With the Hellbats as well. I mean, the Locusts, you might think after a while they might do something. But look at how slow they're going to be at dealing with this army here on their own. We need to have those Banelings make good connections. Alright, here we are. Are they going to get them? Yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, well, there's still Ghost here. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. Hold that phone. Is Dark gonna die? Is he just gonna die right now? Is this actually happening? Is he just kind of lost? It would have to happen now, it feels like. There is just so many bases still available for Dark. Maru needs to shut some of those down, at least. If he doesn't manage to kill Dark, he'd love to get this base killed off as well. This one right here with the Battle Cruiser should be achievable. Does leave the other base for the time being, though, going back to his own area. Trying to heal up back from the few Locust and Baneling hits that were connected onto him. Battle Cruisers in pursuit of those Swarm hosts. Realizing where they're going, he's able to set up those Hellbats and Ghosts once again where they need to be. Look at that. Sending the Ghosts backwards, making it difficult for the Locust to get onto valuable targets. Dark shuts down a siege tank. I'm just thoroughly impressed with how Maru's in this game right now. Another thing is, I feel like Dark's bank should have been bigger, but looking at the units lost tab, it definitely turned around at some point, didn't it? Just kind of shows that as soon as that big ball of Ghost is available to someone like Maru, things just take a turn. Having these Hellbats here with it as well, just keeping them safe from Broodlings, Locusts, and that type of enemy. Lovely way to keep pressuring forwards. He's gonna start moving out again here. You'd think he would have to, right? You can't just allow Dark to have all of these bases. It's been a while since he's had these bases in the bottom right side, but it does appear like he's only starting mining operations there right about now. Could make a case that that is the reason why he doesn't have as much of a bank. And why he's struggling against Maru all of a sudden. He's had on the ropes for such a long period of time. Moving in, moving back out. Indecisiveness is quite a scary thing in StarCraft. Gotta be careful. Does he have enough units here? The Roaches and the Banelings running in forwards. They are getting some detonations there, but the snipes are excruciatingly painful. Each and every time you try to make an engagement happen there, it will just... oof. It will just be punished if you try to make the retreat afterwards. All 3 units being sent in. All 3 units being gobbled up by Mr. Maru. 14 swarm hosts. Still available, still alive. He did lose 15 of them. So he must have been replenishing them throughout the game. There doesn't seem to be as much of an ambition to go into the Broodlords here from Dark. He seems quite willing to try and play this game out with the use of the Locust. Can definitely send those units from quite a bit further away, perhaps making a bit safer against those ghosts. Hold that thought though. Quite a barrage of banelings, getting close to eliminating most of the ghosts here. And, oh, well, if you don't, and you try to run away, there's the snipes once again. Whatever's left of Dark, suffering severely. 77 army supply here for Maru still available. Dark has been dominating this game economically, but Maru is not making it seem so. Right, sometimes 4 Zerglings is all you need. Finds a exposed base that is not a planetary. Will come in, be annoying. Maru now trying to pick up micro against these locusts as well. Quite fancy footwork. Oh, but that is SCVs there. That might be the final SCVs remaining here. Yup. There is only 3. There is only 3 SCVs now. Whatever army Maru has, that is what he's got to work with. He snipes once more. The rest of the army, siege tanks and hellbats right now on the bottom right side. It's surprising how many siege tanks we still have with the swarm host consistently being such a threat here. Really shows how good the control of Maru is, that he's okay with going siege tank versus locust. Although, you know what, it just got called out here quite badly. Nice fungal, securing the kills on a lot of those hellbats as Maru tries to pick up and leave. Now we have 70 supply in total versus 199. Maru, how have you not died sooner? Alright, there we are. GG is called. Well played by Dark. I guess what I was saying was we got our mech here from Maru in the previous game, but it just didn't seem to work. The swarm host managing to pick off those siege tanks one by one, finding damage. And then the roach baneling compositions running in as well from the other side each time after the siege tank line was weakened. Dealing with the hellbats. Hellbats gone. You know, increase your potential for the next locust wave, and a very nice little balanced dance, or a balanced dance utilized there for Dark. Little Hellion Scout. Gonna be joined by a couple of Marines here quite early on. Interesting. And a Widow Mine ready to be picked up with a medevac. Okay. Now, this is not an amount of Marines that can kill Queens on its own. Alright, yeah, he is already moving backwards with them. Maybe misinterpreted some of Dark's actions, or trying to get Dark to overreact to seeing those Marines move out. Another tech lab on the starport. Might just be for the barracks though, of course. 2 extra barracks here. Six roaches on the way. Will it be enough? The Widow Mine. Do we get a response? Dark, a little bit slow. Oh, he unburrowed? He unburrowed the mine? Why? Wait, what? Wow. And then he just... And then he left. Well, that was silly. Good scout here for Dark. Well, you know what, guys? This seems like just so much rough stuff happening here for Maru. We'll have a couple of roaches to have to deal with as well. Nice shooting on the Hellions, actually. Does get quite a bit of AoE splash damage on these roaches. Now with his other units and pickup micro, he deals with this phenomenally well. Oh my goodness. He didn't lose a single unit there. Now he loses 2. Only now, when he's, you know, overconfident. That is very clean. Okay. Alright, he's back in it. It's Maru again. We're certain now. We had to check, but that was him. Making a Banshee with this, also an interesting play. No cloak for it. Does not seem like he's planning to do much else with that attack lab on the starport. Yeah, he's already switched off. The Banshee and Marine pressure here. It's actually kind of interesting the amount of damage he can do to small numbers of roaches. Gotta be quite careful now how you move those about. Barracks, third base, flying across. Fourth base for Dark, as well as an infestation pit coming along. Putting it at his own third base. Interesting location right there. Might be trying to keep it a little bit hidden here for potential drops or something coming in from the sides. I don't know. I don't know why you would put it there. That's the only thing I could come up with. If you know why he put his infestation pit out in the open, please let me know. It's not entirely out in the open, but it's, you know, it's an interesting place. There's a lot of creep around, to be fair, so, you know, it's got a safe feeling to it. Out in the open, but a safe feeling. Right, Maru's production now off the chains. We'll have quite a couple of boys being produced there. Up to 60 army supply strong. Similar to Dark. Going for the Roach Ravagers for the time being. Getting a very quick hive attack here. Might just be for... Oh... He might try to kill Maru off quickly here with a big attack of Roach, Ravager, Zergling, and Vipers. Ah, there's the Baneling Nest. Alright. Well, if he's planning to utilize Banelings as well, he's going to have to get the speed. I guess you still... Yeah, you could still time that. He's going to have to find a way to deal with the Terran army on his front door first, though. Does seemingly have enough, right? Does he? Okay, nice biles on one siege tank. There's still one more remaining. However... yeah, well, there's a lot of Zerg that died here. And now the reinforcements from Maru's coming in. Dark in a lot of trouble. Dark just not prepared whatsoever for this push right here. Only slightly so, I suppose, as he did have some units. Just not really enough. Losing a base. Oh, I was kind of like excited to see this this thing happen here for Dark, or what it was going to turn out to be with a very quick hive, but you know what, with that base dying, we may just see an entire switch up overall from Dark, or... Well, maybe not, in fact, as he will start moving across the map. Still making more and more roaches. I do think we would have seen drone production continue a while back if he does not want to commit here. He's remaking that base, however. +2/+2 for Maru. Nice and well on the way. Should have quite a window here before dark really gets close to his +2/+2. He's adding in the melee upgrades now as well, so it looks like the transition is coming in. No longer the Ravager Roach army. Awkward transition to kind of make here. Perhaps anticipating the mech army to once again come out of Maru, and then, you know, you run into the bio suddenly. Feels like a weird thing, actually, kind of considering how good Dark is with staying on top of the scouting. Hard to imagine something like that happening, right? Well, anyway, regardless of what it was, maybe he just thought it would work better than it actually did in the situation that he's in. There's the 2-2, now finished up for Maru. There's the stim. And that was most of the banelings. Like, he had Hive Tech a couple of minutes before he has baneling speed, right? He's trying to make this transition back into circling baneling army. He will have a couple of Vipers here, but I just don't think that will be enough. Sure, you can Blinding Cloud the 2 siege tanks, but the bio is just gonna waltz right out. Okay, actually, those baneling connections were pretty sick. Pretty legit. But it's still too much. It's too much Terran. Dark's gonna tap out any moment now. And we're gonna go into game number 6. Yeah, again, number 6 in this best of 7. GG! Things continue along the same old tracks in the TVZ. No proxies whatsoever from either of these players so far in this entire best of 7. Start bringing them out now might be a bit of a deviation of the plan as well, I guess, and a bit of a ballsy maneuver. And both of them have been extremely active in trying to figure out whether or not they are being proxied in any way, right? We've seen the Reaper movement every single game. We did have a game without a Reaper though, to be fair, but we still had a Marine kind of walking around, checking the vicinity. We have these Overlords, you know, taking their long paths around the map, trying to figure out whether or not something sneaky is being produced next to the base. It's going to send this Overlord all the way out though, so, you know, if you really want to be super secure, you have this Overlord right here to ensure that if an SCV comes through, you'll be able to see it, and there won't be a... Oh, there we go, now he turns it back, okay. Alright, it's a little bit late, but it's fine. Just, you know, more so for the Hellions now, rather than seeing if a bunker would be constructed there. Factory reactor. Yep. The good old jam for Maru here. So I wait for the ambulance to pass by. There we go. That should be good now. Another hatchery. Third base from Maru. When are we gonna have that being taken here? So far, pretty much every single game he's taken a third base rather quickly. Whether that was versus Dark or Rainer. The Lone Hellion wants to make sure there is that third base. There it is. Knows all is good and well in the world, and he won't have to make any drastic changes to his plans here. Won't have to undergo a big surge in defensive structures. whatever you can produce at those times. Alright, what do we have over here? Widowmine, 6 Marines. We've got 3 Hellions. Attempting to breach through the other side, most likely. A good 1-2 punch. That can be delivered quite early on by the Terran pieces, of course. Let's see how well prepared Dark is going to be for this. So far, the main base does appear to be a little bit open. Remember in that previous game, we had the Widowmine burrowing into the ground. I thought it would get like 5 kills right there, and then Maru unburrowed it. As the Hellions, the Queen's already in position though. He's not gonna get fooled. Sends 2 Queens into the main base. Not even that much, you know. Potentially Maru could have stuck around there for a little bit longer. And now he's losing the Hellions on the other side. Getting only a total of 2 drone kills here. It's not an extreme, but it might be okay still, as long as he gets something to work out for him later down the line. Later down the road. Like auto turret harassment, for example. Could be something scary. Get it? Oh. Just saves that Widowmine. Raven harassment doesn't do that much. In this case, at least. Sending more and more Hellions out as well. Two more barracks for Maru being constructed as well. Seems such a long time ago when we had those 2 initial games for Dark, where he seemed so dominant. It really was just a single Zergling run by in both of those games, but the amount of Zerglings that were, you know, participating in said run by was just so ridiculous that it just absolutely devastated Maru. With the very quick 1-1 upgrades as well for the Zerglings, it does seem like quite a powerful play. A +1-1 quite quickly, always trying to be achieved in these types of Terran plays as well. But Dark just quicker with his approach. Now, this is delaying his banelings a little bit here, it would appear. Also the baneling speed. A little bit more difficult for him there. Oh, that Widowmine could be massive. Oh, nice drag into the Marines yet again, though. Makes Maru reconsider the potential here a little bit. Still a lot of Queens on the high ground there after all. And the medevacs are getting a little bit low. Sees more banelings being morphed. Not quite sure when that started, so not gonna risk jumping on top of them for the time being. Banelings being morphed behind the army as well of Maru. Very interesting. I'm wondering if that was on purpose or just the Zerglings that happened to be on the hotkey of, you know, the units that were going to be transformed. Maru pushing in further. Getting a lot of work done. Dark, his drone count still looking healthy, but struggling with having that 4th base location so heavily under siege. Trying to take the top left side of the field here. Trying to set up a big flank overall as well. Look at that. Still quite a bit off the baneling speed, however. May be a tricky hold here for Dark because of that. Just be ever so careful. Surprised he kept those Queens alive for so long as well, with so many Marines just kind of shooting at them. The transfusions have been very good, it has to be said. So Dark, how is he holding on here? 50 army supply strong. I think Maru may just be able to waltz over here now. Too dark a little bit, but yeah, he just kept bleeding out more and more units. The Marine ball just kept growing. That's a nice victory there for Maru, finding the victory. 3-3. Comes down to the wire, and we do see one SCV, two SCVs heading across the map. Here we go, last game. Maru decides, you know what, let's up the ante. Talking about Maru, here he is, the Red Terran from Onside Gaming. Top left side, the blue Zerg, Dragon Phoenix Gamers, Dark. Alright, now we're gonna look at these barracks going up here across the field. Just relax. Think of all the tension that is on the shoulders of these SCVs. And how terrified they are of the potential overlord just flying over their heads. Revealing all intentions. Now it is just a proxy 2 racks. So still very much able to try and get yourself sorted out after this, but you know, it's not as economic as a regular 1 Rex Reaper fast expand. Dark's Overlord is coming towards this area, but has he got him moving this way? No, he hasn't. This Overlord might just... Well, no, actually, the Overlord will probably fly this way then. Still gonna be a little bit here. Marines already in production. Dark. Oh, you're joking. Oh, you're joking. Ah, could be quite frustrating. Okay, he sees the SCV. He sees the... Okay, he moves... He tries to move the Overlord away. There they come. Alright. So it's not an incredibly early on scout, but it's still alright. He's gone into the backside here, where there are a couple of mineral patches blocking the expansion. I'm not sure if that is, as always, was that's a tournament thing. That's how little I see this map, actually. Feels like Golden Wall, people just not that willing to play it because it might turn quite weird. Alright, Maru here with the bunker completed. Things could get quite hairy here for Dark, but you know what, he decides to keep his head cool. Just kind of stock up on Zerglings here, stop the approach from going any further, and take another base behind himself, right? Just take the base over here instead. It's quite a, how would you call this, sacrifice coming out of Dark here. Puts down a creep 2 Maru like that. So yeah, completely abandons this base. Maru now setting up with the 2 bunkers here. Must feel like a pretty good start for him. I guess this is part of this map, allowing for this backdoor expansion. Right, this would have been so much worse if this backdoor expansion wasn't there. There would have been no way for Dark to try and get these drones outside to take a base over here. That, you know, would just be shot down as quickly as the other one. But like this, you know, you can sit back and be like, alright, well, we lose the hatchery early on, but you know what? You did make a lot of investments into getting all these Marines out early, getting the 2 barracks rather than, you know, a quicker expansion yourself. Look at this. This is the expansion now for Maru. It's quite a ways away still. Also, due to the fact that he did make a factory with a starport behind this before going for the command center. Aiming to just be as aggressive as he can in his final bout, it would appear. Trying to rely on his ever so respected skills of multitasking. Alright, moving stuff back right now. Even gonna try to fly this other barracks back across as well. I suppose he has seen the Zergling numbers. He has spotted the other base over here right now. This is an interesting little drop place. Is that gonna work? No. No, sir. Well, he gets one of them out of there. Almost losing the medevac. That was a daring attempt once again. 4 Hellions there. Reactor onto the starport. 2 more barracks being produced. There's the tech lab. Alright. So most likely we'll have another big influx of Marines coming in the map pretty soon. In a minute or 2. Even gets the repair on this barracks, so we'll be up to 4 barracks in total right now. Interesting. Yeah, if he starts production out of all of these barracks, this would start to be a little bit committed, right? He would want to get damage done with the first initial couple of marine pushes, either the first or the second one. Sometimes the first one can get overwhelmed quite quickly still, but you know, if you manage to pull out enough of your boys, reassemble. Sometimes the Zerg just kind of overproduces then at that point on the drones and get himself into a corner. Hellion drop from Maru. Let's see how that is going to fare. A little bit lucky actually with the Zerglings moving one way and the Queens moving another. Then again, they got to unload, but that's about where their story ends. It's about all they get to do. Saw 1 shot, and that was, I think, on an extractor. Now, 3rd base for Maru on location. All right, it's a pretty safe space. After all. Cleaning up some creep with the medevac Hellions. As, oh my, Dark is going for the roaches again. Are we gonna see him attempt the same thing he did before with the quick hive? Are we gonna see some sort of a Viper push as well? Or is this just gonna be pure up roaches? Without any fanciness. Just straight up roaches rushing across the map here. I mean, he knows his opponent did make the double barracks. And then, he'll quite quickly had those Hellions send the medevac as well, so might be his idea that if Maru wants to continue onwards in this game, then he either makes a lot of command centers, or he tries to just kind of make another push happen. Here's some more harassments here. Cancel on the 4th base of Dark, not going to be happening today. Well, this minute, I should say. Today is a bit extreme. I wonder, yeah, man, there's the quick infestation pit again. So perhaps this time around we'll get to see what exactly this plan was. Couldn't quite get it into fruition the last time around because the sudden appearance of a lot of Marines and siege tanks on his borders, which is something I'm still anticipating to happen in this game as well. But who knows, he might be able to get a couple better biles going for himself, some Baneling connections. Again though, Baneling speed nowhere to be seen. Hive once again quicker on that production. Actually no, this is a much quicker Baneling speed than the previous time. Alright, is that gonna be sufficient, however? Is that going to be sufficient? That is the question. The amount of stuff he has does seem to be quite a bit. Should be able to deal with just a Marine Marauder here. There's no siege tank support, of course, either. Does slap that down rather quickly. Fourth base for Maru. Being produced in the 3rd base. There's that hive tech still coming along. Going into melee upgrades as well right now. I'm more familiar with the style roaches that Dark was playing when it was into the lurkers, right? Because you get the ranged upgrades and then you have upgraded lurkers quite quickly. But this is something else, man. Roach Ravager just off the bat. Transition into Circling Baneling and then just starting to incorporate Vipers very, very quickly into the mix. Some of the quicker Vipers that you will be able to achieve here. And now I imagine with the Vipers he's going to start getting a bit aggressive, right? Gonna come down to siege tank placement, very likely here. If you siege them all up like this, one blinding cloud, and it is going to be lights out. Maru too good to let something like that kill him, right? He's not gonna do that with his siege tanks, no sir. Alright, does spread him out a little bit. I still feel like one blinding cloud here and one over here, and it could still be a lot of trouble. Dark getting himself the Ultralisk Cavern also. I'm seeing 4 transportation overlords all getting made as well. Let's see, actually make that 5. Alright. 4 Berserklings and a couple of Banelings there as well. Looking to join the fleet. So that will start going across the map right now. Exposed base here for Maru, looking quite vulnerable. Meanwhile, the other attack coming in from the front. Let's see how good these Viper Blinding Clouds are going to be. EMP not landing on them just quite yet. There they are. But the Blinding Cloud had struck already. Now the drop into this base as well. Everything is collapsing at once here for Maru. Is this Blinding Cloud push doing an enormous amount of damage? I think, in fact, this was this was so incredibly effective right now. Dark already back up at 100th army supply. Maru's supply has absolutely plummeted. His economy, well, it's not in shambles. He lost 18 SCVs, but that is still quite a considerable amount. Having his third base here, or natural base perhaps, stopping mining as well for quite a while. Just making things difficult. More Zerglings in the ground, seemingly unnoticed by Maru. Again, could be a future problem here. I love that he kept these Overlords alive as well. He could just come in again. Definitely an underutilized tool from the Zerg. I like that we're seeing Dark making more use of it right now. Adrenal Gland Zerglings into your opponent's main or natural base like this. Absolutely devastating. Let's just start unloading them. There we go. One siege tank, not going to be enough. You know what? Actually, this seems to be a more important fight. Another base for Maru going down. A lot of the bio going down as well. As once more the supply of Maru is taking a plummet down the cliff. GG is called. Dark takes game number 7 in quite a nice fashion. Well played indeed. And he is the champion of the DreamHack Valencia finals.